Hello everyone, it's Miss Potter here again with another speed build. These are my favourite things to do in The Sims 4, so there's a lot of speed builds on this channel. I hope you don't mind, but this has to be one of my favourite ever builds that I've ever done in general in The Sims 4. So I knew for ages that I wanted to build a Scandinavian inspired house because Scandinavian design is some of my absolute favorite design of all time. I think it's really clean and modern and beautiful, and I love the combination of wood textures and brick, tile, kind of stainless steel and knick-knack kind of decoration. And so I knew I wanted to do a Scandinavian build at some point, but I've been waiting for the right time and I couldn't hold on any longer, and so here it is. I have just gone and done it. And so this build is actually inspired by one of my favourite ever Scandinavian design homes by Kathryn Tyler, who is an interior designer, and she built this house. I think it's actually her house. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's actually her house that she built, and I've always loved it. It's been on my Pinterest for the longest time, and I knew that I wanted to kind of try and recreate the shape of the house in The Sims and then furnish it inspired by her design, but not exactly the same, obviously, because I couldn't do that even if I wanted to, because lots of the items don't exist, but using all of the kind of Scandinavian-y style things that I can find in The Sims 4. So just once again, for if this is the first time that you're joining me for a speed build, I don't have all of the expansion packs. Everything you see is base game plus vampires plus city living. So those are the only expansions that I currently have. I'm hoping to get some more soon, but there's no custom content, and yeah, only those 2 expansions. So I did the best with what I had. There wasn't a hell of a lot of Scandinavian inspired items for me to choose from, but I think I did a pretty good job, and I'm really happy with how this house turned out. So I hope that you enjoy it too. The hardest part by far about this house for me was definitely the roof. I hate the roof of every house that I build. I just feel like in The Sims the roofing never looks realistic, as realistic as I want it to look, and I kind of think the colours are a little bit off. I always scroll through the time of day clicker to check out the colours of the roof in different times of day, and I don't know, I just feel like they're never very realistic looking, but I tried my best, and I knew that I wanted to have kind of a lot of black trimmed glass in this house, because I think that's one of the coolest parts of Scandinavian design, is kind of just big glass windows with really simple frames. So here we go, just trying to do the roof and get it right. I do take a little while to just decide how I'm going to do this, but I'm really enjoying the mix of the brick texture on that panel to the left of the screen there that you can see. It's kind of like a feature of the house there, a little brick exterior wall, and then the wooden cladding of the upstairs addition. I think that looks really neat. And then of course trying to build kind of a bit of a fireplace looking extension over on the right there, and I know there are fireplaces in the game and I could have just kind of popped one in, but I kind of wanted it to feel a little bit more substantial than that, so I was trying to kind of create this square shaped fireplace feature, but I do actually go back later and reduce that just down to two by 1 rather than 4 squares, but I kind of like how that turned out. And you can see me starting to play with the trim there on the top of that lower level. I knew I wanted it to have a square kind of boxy feel, but I didn't want to go with a flat roof, so I wanted to just have the trim on the house, but that's not possible, so I had to build really short little walls around all of the walls so that I could put the trim onto those walls and it would look as if it had just had the trim on the outside of the wall, so everything's kind of slightly too high, but it doesn't end up looking like that, I don't think. I think it works out pretty well, and later I realised that I can use that little top area for a kind of a rooftop party kind of deck area, so that worked out just fine. pretty good. I do spend a wee while on the outside of this house, probably longer than I would normally spend on the exterior of a build, just trying to get it right because it's pretty obsessed with this one. Wanting to have a nice little gravel exterior, just kind of putting down some textures. I like to put down the kind of ground textures while I go, and kind of keep building them up and erasing away at them so they end up looking the most realistic. I find that a range of ground textures kind of creates this more realistic ground feel. And a constant backwards and forwards in this build, trying to have the smallest kind of size that I could while also having it big enough to fit everything in it. So I do kind of resize some rooms a bit, but I think I got there in the end. Inside now, playing with a mix of wood and concrete texture. So I knew I wanted to have kind of both of those things going on. Kind of trying to make a bit of a zigzag pattern by flipping the angled wooden, floor tool. I guess you could use, I don't know, what do we call that? Ground texture, carpet, wood. I just flipped them around so that I could create a bit more of a wider zigzag design there in the lounge and in the what does become the office. So you can see the wood texture and the white there starting to look pretty good. Lots of standing back and admiring this house. I was really enjoying building it. Trying to work out where to put the stairs. I think I do end up putting them just by the front door somewhere, but I'm not going to do it yet. Okay. There we go again, just shortening the top there. I decided it was a little bit too long. It's so nice to have that resize room feature in The Sims 4. That was never a thing in The Sims 2, I'm pretty sure, so being able to just quickly resize a room is super amazing. There's the stairs, popping them in by the front door there. I think I do actually change them around so they point the other way because I decided that was pretty impractical, having them kind of pointing into the middle of the room like that. And I worked out there was no bathroom downstairs. And I wanted to create a bit of a laundry space as well, so kind of made that open room to the right there. That's going to be behind the kitchen, and I kind of imagined it would be like a laundry area, even though there's no laundry in The Sims 4 yet. Apparently laundry is coming, so the internet tells me. I don't know when. Or actually, maybe it's not coming. Maybe it was just voted as one of the things people want in The Sims the most. So I imagine they will build it, but I don't know. I don't know when. I did design this house for a family, a small family, so maybe 2 adults and 1 child and a guest bedroom, but I guess that if you had 2 children, the guest bedroom could turn into another bedroom for your other child eventually, but I did style it as a guest bedroom for this build. So much natural light in this, it's so lovely. There we go, flipping around the stairs and kind of creating a bit of an entranceway. And starting on the interior, I don't think have I put any wall furnishings in? I don't know if I've actually put the wallpaper in. Oh, that might be what I'm doing now actually, I think. Just let's leave the walls blank for that industrial feel. No, I think I do make them white plaster pretty much in every room. There we go, just adjusting the size on the lounge again. I decided it was a little bit too big. And again, playing with the roof because I just feel like I can never get that right. I don't know, what do you think? How can I get better at making roofs? Just keep watching more videos, I guess eventually I'll make better roofs. And onto the furnishing. So I did do my best to kind of look through the catalogue and find the most kind of mid-century Scandinavian looking pieces of furniture that I could find. I think it would have been good if I'd had maybe spa day or outdoor retreat. Actually possibly even get to work would be a good one I feel like to have for this one, because there's kind of some warehousey type stuff in there that I just don't have unfortunately, but I did my best kind of trying to find all the different textures and woods and greys, blacks, whites. And this house doesn't have a TV, it only has the fireplace there and a kind of sitting area, so I imagine that this family probably doesn't really watch much TV or do much with technology. They're sort of just relaxing, living a kind of pretty casual, chill life. I thought that bookshelf there was probably the most Scandinavian thing I could find in the whole catalogue. It's amazing. Stoked to find that. I was pretty fussy with picking everything for this house, so it's kind of a long video, so bear with me. I like to sometimes place all of the items that I know I'm going to want to use when I find them on the floor in the room that I'm going to use them in, just so I don't have to go back the whole way through the catalogue and find them again, and then I know what I want to use. So that's what I'm doing there over on the left. That's not laid out the way that it's going to be laid out in the end, just in case you were wondering. None of the artwork, like the decoration artwork, kind of seemed exactly right in this build for some reason. I just wasn't feeling it. I did my best, but I feel like maybe there's some other artworks in some of the other expansion packs which might be a little bit more Scandinavian design appropriate. I think this house has a lot of books in it though, because they don't have any digital entertainment. I think they'd be big readers and kind of creatives, so I did put a lot of books in around the place. Still feeling relatively new to The Sims. This is only the 4th video I've ever made. Although I'm not new to The Sims, like I've been playing The Sims for many years. I only really started playing The Sims 4 maybe a couple of months ago. I haven't played since The Sims 2, so I just feel like I don't really 100% know my way around the catalogue yet, and that's kind of why I've been not buying too many expansion packs all at once, although I am poor as well, so it's the main reason, but also just kind of didn't want to be overwhelmed with too many items. I don't know how people play with hundreds of items of custom content. I just can't even imagine. I do decide to use little children's pictures here above the bookshelf there. I think they look kind of neat. They fit with the kind of eclectic vibe of this Scandinavian house, even though they're the kids' pictures. And the coffee table. I was stoked to find that coffee table. I think it fits perfectly. I really love the way that ground looks, that kind of big zigzagged rotated panels on the ground makes it look really awesome. In case you didn't know, you just hit comma in The Sims and the floor tile will rotate, and that's how you can create that ground that I've got there. Plants, of course. Every house in general, not just Scandinavian design, but every house needs plants. I love using plants and landscaping in The Sims. It's my favourite thing to do. Just trying to find the art that I think fits best, but I'm not sure I 100% nailed it, but it'll do. I'd be interested to do another Scandinavian build once I get spa day, I think, and maybe get to work, or even maybe a Scandinavian loft in San Myshuno. I think that would be really cool as well. Gotta use that industrial lamp because I use that in every single build that I do. Do you guys have those particular items that you use in every single build? I definitely have them. For me, it's that lamp, that kind of industrial tripod lamp. What else do I always use? Oh, the fluffy rug, the kind of shaggy white rug. I always use that. Oh, and the antique camera. I pretty much always put that in somewhere. It's on the floor there at the moment. I think I ended up putting it on the bookshelf. I wanted to try and recreate a bookshelves under the stairs kind of vibe, you know, when the underneath of the stairs is actually the bookshelf. Of course you can't do that in The Sims, but I wanted to try and make it look as if the stairs were a bookshelf as well. And so moving into the kitchen space, I knew I wanted it to be pretty light in there. It actually takes me ages to put an actual light in, which is a bit frustrating. I often do that. I kind of forget to put in a light to make everything look a bit better, but I do get there in the end. So perfectly suiting to this house is the white kind of cabinetry with the wooden top on it. And I decide everything needs a little bit more room, so I just go in with the move room tool, which is just so amazing. As I said before, a few more windows, and you can kind of see this space coming together now. And so behind that wall is a little laundry space, but I just wanted a kind of casual little dining area here in the middle of the room. So a pretty simple but kind of lived in looking kitchen was what I was going for. So lots of knickknacks and pans and, you know, things that make it look like the kitchen has definitely been used. There we go. And with the lights, and you can actually see what the space looks like. Yay. I swear sometimes I just have a mind blank when I'm playing and I just don't think about things properly. The knickknacks are really pulling it together. I kind of like those 3 floating shelves. I didn't end up sticking with it, but actually looking back, I think they looked really cool. I like the 2 simple shelves I did as well, but they did look really awesome. I seem to always put that little black teapot in as well, that little antique teapot. It's definitely one of the items that I always use. I love the kind of slight industrial feel that Scandinavian design can have. It's always got that kind of slightly rusticy industrial warehouse feel, which I just super love it. And some pops of colour. Looking good. Bit of a dining area over here. Wasn't really any of the right or exactly right dining chairs I didn't feel. I kind of went through a lot of options but didn't really find anything that I thought looked exactly right, but I ended up going for those kind of low back steel and coloured seats, which I think look pretty cool, but yeah, just not 100% right. Then I have stumbled across that clock and think that it definitely has to go somewhere because it's perfect aesthetic for this place, and end up putting it in the corner in the lounge. I love all the shelving in this house, but it did mean that I had to take the time to pop stuff onto the shelves, which is a little bit tricky with the move tool there, but totally worth it. It ends up looking really good. That's basically the kitchen and dining area done, just adding in the little laundry area that would be a laundry if we had laundry stuff, but we don't, so it's just a little sink area for now, but eventually I imagine one day I'll be able to put a laundry in there. And then I thought, man, you know what, maybe I could just open that area up and use the bookshelf as the wall instead, which I think ended up looking really cool. Changing out the placeholder stairs that I just dumped in for some that actually look like they fit the house. Little alcove area outside the office space there, just maybe a little reading nook. I love those footstools. I think that they're one of my favourite items in the whole game. I always use one of those as well. I hope that we'll see some more of those. I think there might be some in another expansion that I don't have yet, but I have to get my hands on that because I love the footstools. And then creating a little office here that I imagine would be a home office, because there's space for like a client to sit and chat there on the other side of the table. I think I ended up putting in another seat so that two people could sit there and work as well, but kind of imagine it would be a home office-y type space. Maybe for something creative, because I do put in the graffiti artwork wall piece there, so I can't wait to get in and have someone paint something on that wall. I think that'll end up looking really awesome. And a stack of canvases. So yeah, definitely for something creative. Maybe like an architect with a really creative passion for painting in their spare time or something along those lines. Maybe an interior designer. Maybe this is Kathryn Tyler's house. Did put some blueprints on the table. That could be an interior designer, I guess. I'm gonna go with interior designer. A little guest bathroom, I was about to say bedroom, that would be a very small bedroom. Little guest bathroom downstairs, just so that everyone doesn't have to trudge upstairs to use the bathroom. Just a really small little one. It's just a toilet and a sink. It's not a showering bathroom, obviously. But I love using those cactuses in the bathroom. They look really cool. Just keeping it simple. And we are done with the downstairs. Moving upstairs, the room at the front is the main bedroom, so the one with the balcony. I imagine this is the master bedroom anyway, so I knew that that was going to be what I popped there, and then I rediscovered that end table and I thought, you know what, that's a way better design for an end table than the one I used downstairs. And those kind of, what's it called, those lamps that are kind of on an angle poise lamps are perfect for this aesthetic. And they come in some really awesome colours, so stoked to find those. Kind of creating a dresser top there. I would never put a clock in my room in real life because the ticking would drive me crazy, but in The Sims it looks so good. I kind of had thought that I would use that little space, that little alcove for something cool, but then it just kind of was annoying, so I filled it in and ended up popping a chair in the corner. once I found the right chair. Again, there wasn't really a lot of chairs I felt like were exactly right for this space, but I did my best. And there's the fluffy rug that I always use. I think that room turned out really nice. I would like to live in that room. And the ensuite, which ends up just looking pretty much exactly like the downstairs bathroom in terms of aesthetic, but has a shower in it, of course. And I briefly think that I'll be able to fit counters in there, which I definitely can't. I don't know what I was thinking. I wish that the bath could stay there and be underneath that window, but it just doesn't work with the spacing, so I have to move it and use a shower bath so that everything can fit. I wish there was a shower bath that didn't have that shower curtain always around it, but that doesn't seem to be an option, at least in the expansion packs that I have at this point. More shelves with knickknacks, because that is a big part of this build. I spent so much time making shelves with knickknacks on them for this build, but I think it was worth it. And onto the guest bedroom, or I guess whatever, it could be a second child's bedroom if you decided that, but I am using it for a guest bedroom. Very similar feel to the master bedroom, just kind of slightly different colours, keeping it easy for myself, and consistent of course. Looking good. Just putting some items into the hallway to make it look a bit lived in. And I decided to tile the bathrooms because I think that's much more Scandinavian style, and I would never pass up an opportunity to use the subway tiles because I love them so much. And onto the master bathroom, is that a thing? Main bathroom? I don't know, which has obviously everything in it, shower and bath and basin and just all of the items you would expect to see in a bathroom. shelves with more knickknacks. A little bit of privacy from some greenery outside the window. Oh, I want to live in this home so much. I love it. And then the last room in the house, I decided to actually go with making this a nursery. So I imagined that would be the new baby's room, and because I hadn't done a nursery yet. So this is the first time that I've done a baby's room in The Sims 4, and I had so much fun looking at all the cute items that there are for kids. Just so many cool things. I ended up putting way too many things in this room because I was just so in love with everything. It's the most spoiled child ever. There's so many toys in this room. Pop a fireplace outside. And onto the landscaping. Unfortunately, those vines don't stay on the outside very long. I didn't really think that they fit with the vibe of the rest of the place, but I'll show you some landscaping very shortly. See what I mean about the kind of building up of the gravel outside? I think it looks really nice. When I'm landscaping, I always like to pick kind of 2 or 3, sometimes 4 items from the greenery kind of foliage menus and kind of work them together to make sure there's a consistency throughout the whole exterior. So here I've kind of picked the long grass and that fern, that succulent, and I think I used kind of a grassy, flowery, there we go, that one. Spend way too long on landscaping because I love it. I need to do some kind of really big, extravagant landscaping build because it's one of my favorite things to do in the game. The exterior is starting to take shape now. And then I decide, oh, excuse me, and then I decide that the outside needed a door to it because there's space to have a back garden, so just popped in a door in through the kitchen dining area there, out to what will be a lovely little barbecuing area outside. I was going to put in tiles and then I remembered that you can have square gravel, and so I thought I'd just do something kind of different with the gravel landscaping and make a kind of pattern walkway, which I think turned out really nice. Tried to find a fence that I thought suited, but they were all a little bit extreme, so I just went with a hedge. I always just go with a hedge, it's a bit boring, but I just think it looks the best. Keeping it simple with an outdoor table, a bench in case you wanted to sit in the park area, which I thought was kind of nice. It blends it into that park area rather than just thinking of the lot as a separate entity. I always like to make sure I blend it in with the surrounding aesthetic. There we go, popping in a letterbox. I think we are almost done. Decide to just blend that front feature wall in a little bit, and the pathway going up to the door. You can kind of see what I mean by choosing just a few kind of items and kind of consistently using them to blend the landscaping in across the entire lot. And there we go. I really love this house. I think it turned out so beautiful. I could see myself living here. I think that it's amazing. Let me know what you think, and I'm probably going to do more Scandinavian builds because I love them. And then there will just be a few screenshots to show you of the house, and here we go.